Objective Geology, multiple choice questions with answers. This is the solved question paper of Andhra Pradesh State Level Eligibility Test 2016 question paper. And I hope this solved question paper is useful for various competitive exams like CSR, NET, GATE, GSI and other exams. Welcome to set 2. Coming to the first question. The fold which is convex upwards is called dash type of fold. A. Syncline. B. Recumbent. C. Synform. D. Antiform. The correct option goes as D. Antiform. A fold that is convex upwards is an antiform. An antiform's shape is defined by its upward facing convex up structure, which is similar to an anticline, though the key difference is that an antiform's core does not necessarily contain the oldest rocks. Next question. The fold having angular hinge is known as A. Tight fold, B. Chevron fold, C. Parallel fold and D. Similar fold. The fold having angular hinge is known as chevron fold. So this type of fold is characterized by well-defined straight limbs and a sharp angular crest or trough at its hinge point, which can be distinguished from the other folds with rounded hinges. So the fold having angular hinge is known as chevron fold. B is the correct option. Next question. The ratio of the shearing stress to the shearing strain is A. Poisson's ratio, B. Incompressibility, C. Young's modulus and D. Rigidity modulus. The ratio of the shearing stress to the shearing strain is called the shear modulus or modulus of rigidity, often represented by the symbol G. This property, it quantifies a material's stiffness or resistance to angular deformation when subjected to a shear force. So the ratio of shearing stress to the shearing strain is rigidity modulus. D is the correct option. Next question. The upper shell of the earth up to 100 kilometers depth is called A. Crust, B. Lithosphere, C. Biosphere and D. Asthenosphere. The upper shell of the earth up to 100 kilometers depth is called as a lithosphere. It is a rigid rock layer that includes the earth's crust and the uppermost brittle part of the mantle. So this layer is broken into tectonic plates that move over the asthenosphere, which lies beneath it. So the upper shell of the earth up to 100 kilometers depth is called lithosphere. B is the correct option. Next question. Which is the point situated on the surface of the earth above the focus of the earthquake? A. Epicenter, B. Center of gravity, C. Focal point and D. Stress location. Obviously, epicenter is the point which is situated on the surface above the focus of an earthquake. The focus is the actual origin point of the earthquake within the earth, where the fault rupture begins, and the epicenter is where the seismic waves first reach the surface, often experiencing the most severe shaking. Next question. Which of the following is an example of seafloor spreading? The choices are A. San Marino Trench and B. San Andreas Fault, C. Mid-Atlantic Ridge and D. Rocky and Andes Mountains. So obviously Mid-Atlantic Ridge is an example of seafloor spreading. Mid-Atlantic Ridge is a classic example of a divergent plate boundary where seafloor spreading occurs, forming new oceanic crust as the tectonic plates pull apart and magma rises from the Earth's mantle to fill the gap. So this underwater mountain range, it marks the boundary between the plates with the youngest rocks, and new seafloor is being created at its center, and it is a key feature of the global mid-oceanic ridge system. So mid-Atlantic ridge is an example of seafloor spreading. C is the correct option. Next question. Tsunamis are developed due to 1. Submarine quakes, 2. Floods, 3. Volcanic eruptions within the oceans, 4. Cyclones. And the choices given are A. 1 and 3 are correct, B. 1 and 2 are correct, C. 3 and 4 are correct and D. All are correct. Tsunamis are developed due to submarine quakes, floods, volcanic eruptions within the oceans and cyclones. Tsunamis are developed due to large-scale sudden displacement of ocean water, most commonly caused by powerful underwater earthquakes that cause vertical seafloor movement, but also by volcanic eruptions, underwater landslides, and rarely meteorite impacts. So this disturbance, it pushes a large volume of water upward, creating a series of waves that propagate across the entire water column, unlike regular and wind-driven waves. Next question. The oceanic conveyor belt flows continuously in A. Arctic Ocean, B. Atlantic Ocean, C. Indian Ocean, and D. Pacific Ocean. The oceanic conveyor belt, it flows continuously in the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, so this is also designated as AMOC, so which is the Atlantic portion of the global ocean conveyor belt, and it flows continuously within the Atlantic Ocean, circulating water between the northern and the southern hemispheres. So this system, it starts with the warm, salty surface water sinking in the North Atlantic and then flows south as deep cold water, eventually returning to the surface and completing a global cycle over hundreds to thousands of years. So the oceanic conveyor belt, it flows continuously in Atlantic Ocean. B is the correct option. Next question. Continental shelf is defined as A. The highest of the continent from mean sea level, and B. The highest difference between two continents. C. The zone around the continents from the low water mark seaward up to the continental slope, and D. The distance between two continents. The correct option goes as C. The continental shelf is gently sloping, submerged margin of a continent that extends from low water mark or coastline seaward to where the steep continental slope begins. So it's a shallow, extended part of the continental landmass covered by relatively shallow seas, and it is characterized by a gradual drop off into the deeper ocean floor. Next question. Water masses are identified by A. Temperature, salinity, nutrients, and oxygen content. B. Temperature they possess. And C. Depth at which they occur. D. The mass of water they possess. The correct option goes as A. Water masses are identified by temperature and salinity, which are conservative properties that change little over time and help define their unique characteristics and movement. Oxygen, along with the other non-conservative properties like the nutrients, also plays a role in characterizing a water mass origin and history, particularly in distinguishing between different water bodies. So, water masses are identified by temperature, salinity, nutrients, and oxygen content. A is the correct option. So, question. The force due to the rotation of the earth is A. Pressure gradient force, B. Fractional force, C. Gravity force, and D. Coriolis force. The force due to the rotation of the earth is called as a Coriolis force. It is an apparent force that causes moving objects such as winds and ocean currents to deflect from their original path, deflecting to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. So the force due to the rotation of the earth is Coriolis force. D is the correct option. Next question. In the atmosphere, meteorologically, the most significant waves are A. Sound waves, B. Gravity, C. Rossby, and D. Electromagnetic. So the correct option goes as Rossby. The most significant meteorological waves in the atmosphere are Rossby waves. These are also known as planetary waves. These are large-scale, slow-moving waves in the jet stream that influence middle latitude weather patterns and drive pole-to-the-pole circulation. And these waves are formed by the Earth's rotation, which causes air to move in the meandering paths, transferring heat from the tropics to the poles and cold air back to the tropics, significantly impacting global weather and climate variability. So in the atmosphere, meteorologically, the most significant waves are Rossby. C is the correct option. Next question. The type of the low frequency gravity wave trapped in a vertical boundary on the equator is called A. Shearing gravity, B. Kelvin wave, C. Rossby wave, and D. Internal wave. The type of low frequency gravity wave trapped in a vertical boundary on the equator is called Kelvin wave. Kelvin waves are a type of low frequency gravity wave that is trapped at the equator due to the Coriolis effect and propagate eastward. So they function similarly to waves trapped by a vertical boundary like a coastline, but at the equator, the Coriolis force balances the wave's pressure gradient, preventing eastward propagation away from the equatorial waveguide. So, the type of the low frequency gravity wave trapped in a vertical boundary on the equator is called as a Kelvin wave. Next question. The height of the Prandtl layer is A. 10 meters, B. 50 meters, C. 500 meters, and D. 1500 meters. The correct option goes as B. 50 meters. Prandtl layer is a region that extends up to 100 meters above the surface, and its depth varies, where it can be around 50 meters deep under certain stable, calm, and clear night conditions. So it can also be much deeper during the day, with the boundary layer depths potentially reaching several kilometers in desert regions. So from the given above options, the height of the Prandtl layer is 50 meters. B is the correct option. Next question. The layer in which ozone is present is called. Simple straightforward question. A. Troposphere, B. Stratosphere, C. Mesosphere, and D. Exosphere. The correct option goes as a B. Stratosphere. The layer in which the Earth's atmosphere, where most ozone is found, is called as the stratosphere. And this stratospheric ozone, it forms the ozone layer, which absorbs most of the sun's harmful ultraviolet radiation, protecting life on the Earth. Next question. In an inversion layer, A. Temperature decreases with height, B. Temperature increases with height, and C. Temperature is zero, and D. Temperature is constant. In an inversion layer, temperature increases with height. In an inversion layer, a layer of warmer air, it sits above a layer of cooler, denser air, which is the opposite of the normal atmospheric condition, where temperature decreases with the height. This creates a stable, capped atmosphere that traps pollutants and limits upward movement, often leading to fog formation and reduced visibility at the surface. So in an inversion layer, temperature increases with height. B is the correct option. Next question. The approximation where density variation is taken only in the pressure gradient term and not in the other terms is called A. Hydrostatic approximation, B. Geostrophic approximation, C. Boussinesq approximation, and D. Brunt-Väisälä approximation. So the correct option is C. Boussinesq approximation. The approximation where density variation is taken only on the pressure gradient term and not in the other terms is called as the Boussinesq approximation. This approximation, it is used for buoyancy driven flows such as natural convection, where density changes are small and primarily affect the buoyancy forces, while the other density variations are negligible in the inertial and other terms of the equation of motion. Next question. The word ecosystem was coined by A. Haeckel, B. Buckle, C. Alexander, and D. Tansley. The correct option goes as D. Tansley. The term ecosystem was coined by British ecologist Arthur Tansley in 1935 in a publication titled The Use and Abuse of Vegetational Concepts and Terms. Tansley defined it as the fundamental unit of ecology, encompassing all the interacting living, that means the biotic, and the non-living means abiotic components of an environment. So the word ecosystem was coined by Tansley. D is the correct option. Next question. The term overburden is associated with A. Open cast mining, B. Underground mining, C. Strip mining, and D. Offshore mining. The term overburden is associated with open cast mining. The term overburden is directly associated with open cast mining, referring to the soil, rock, and other materials that lie on the top of an ore body and must be removed to access the valuable mineral source. And in an open cast mining operations, large quantities of overburden are excavated and removed, often forming spoil dumps before the underlying deposit can be mined. So the term overburden is associated with open cast mining. Next question. Minimata disease is the result of A. Air pollution, B. Nuclear pollution, C. Water pollution, and D. Noise pollution. Minimata disease is the result of water pollution. So Minimata disease, it results from severe mercury poisoning caused by ingesting fish and shellfish contaminated with methyl mercury, which entered the marine ecosystem from industrial wastewater discharged by Chiso Corporation into Minamata Bay, Japan. So this pollution led to a neurological syndrome with symptoms such as numbness, visual disturbances, and muscle weakness. And the disease was first identified in Minamata city in the 1950. So Minamata disease is the result of water pollution. Next is the tips to prepare for the competitive exam. In continuation for the last video, I'm making these tips for the competitive exam. So in addition to that, I'm giving. So number one, create a study plan. So what type of exam and how many reading hours are needed exactly for that exam. So for that, you have to prepare a timetable for each exam. So for that, create a study plan. It is very important. And second point, it is analyze the syllabus. How you are going to analyze the syllabus, it makes a very important. That means what are the easy chapters are there in that syllabus and what are the difficult things are there. You can make a red mark and then you can write it down all the exam difficult things so that you can plan accordingly. So this is analyzing the syllabus and is there the syllabus is objective or descriptive pattern, in what way you have to write the exam. So like that, analyzing the syllabus is very important. And the next step is you have to arrange all the study material which you have. So nowadays there are so many materials are in the available internet. People like you may confuse like what material I have to read. For that, you have to study the reference books. So in the next video, I'll make what are the good important reference books. So for this, please rely on the standard books. Referred material is there, and then textbooks. Minimum 8 to 10 textbooks are needed, and like apart from that, you had to read the NCERT syllabus and then all those other stuff is there. So first thing is arrange the study material. Don't go for the simple and vague materials. So go for the preferred reference standard textbooks. So this is very important. Next is understand the exam pattern. So what type of exam it is there and what is its pattern? Suppose if it is a descriptive or it is objective, and how much authenticity you are preparing for a descriptive exam. So whether you are good at writing or that particular points, like if it is descriptive, 2 marks question or 5 marks question or 10 marks questions, like that, what is the pattern is there? And you have to understand that one and you have to make the notes accordingly. Fifth point, make your own notes. So why this plays a very crucial, because now you say that means you have lots of loads of syllabus or material are there, but your own notes make an important criteria in passing through the exam. Because if you write the notes, this we will have more memory and you can memorize more, and then you can practice this, and you will have 100% confidence that yes, I have understand this one and I have make a notes, and then you can memorize very well. In that, for that case, you need a picture or image format of any topic. Suppose if you take any topic like in glaciers, or then suppose if you think meandering of rivers, or then drainage patterns, or anything in geomorphology, or texture patterns in petrology, or joints or particular strike slip faults, or in structural geology, anything. For that, what is the important thing is you have to make a picture of that. You have to take a pencil and then you have to write make the diagram of that, so that you can understand more, and then you can this picture format, it will give, or image format, this will have a long-term memory. And another important is table format. Suppose if any structure of silicates or anything it is there, you have to make in the table format, so that it's easy to note it, and then you can copy, and then you can make like some number of things are there, like how you can make it in a what you can say that that format, you repeatedly you have to see that, and then you can practice that. So picture or image and table format, it plays an important thing for a descriptive exam. So make your own notes according to that, and then seek guidance. So this is very important, because nowadays you are preparing so much, of course that's good, but how much guidance you are needed. Suppose for the any exam, you can talk to your teacher or mentor, or you can with the chit chat with the seniors or friends, and you can share your material, and you can take the guidance from them. And because every point makes an important thing. And another important step is stay motivated. So why? Because you have to stay motivated. Someday or some days you do good and some other days you feel very bad, or something, some functions or something, some disturbances will be there. Of course, even though you have to be stay motivated, and every time whenever you are sharing the material with your students or friends or anybody is there, you have to be motivated that yes, I am going to secure this exam within that stipulated time period. This is very important. Always you have to be motivated, and then you can make a phone call to your friends or teachers, or that yes, I'm good at this point, I'm not this, like this. You can always be stay motivated and don't desperate at any cost. And another important thing is eliminate distractions. Nowadays digital mania is there, means every time you have to see your mobile, and everything is available in the mobile. That means either it is positive way or negative way. So number of distractions or notifications, or then social media, everything will be there. So you had to eliminate all these distractions. And the other important pointing is visualization. What is this visualization? Everybody knows that visualization means if you see and repeatedly any particular pattern or a type, and then you can become what you thoughts becomes things. So that's why your thoughts always should be motivated, and your thoughts should always be inspired, and your thought should have a good thought that yes, I'm going to crack this exam within this time period. Hook or crook, I am going to solve that, or I'm going to secure that position, or anything you can plan, whatever be be. And give a specified time period for that, daily sit in a calm place, and then visualize already that you have got the exam, or you have appointed as an officer or geologist or something or so on. And this process, it makes the things very um, promptly. So this visualization. So, and another important thing is sleep well. Most of the people, they read so much, and then they will be frustrated. And yes, I have read this much, but the thing is, you have to sleep well. Minimum sleep hours are very, very, very important, so that your brain will be active. And for that, minimum 6 to 8 hours sleep is very essential. So these are the tips overall. Just I will repeat. First is to create a study plan, and second is you have to analyze the syllabus, and third is arrange all the study material, keep in files at one place for any one particular exam, and then understand the exam pattern, what type of syllabus is there, how many marks, and then what type of whether it is a what you can say that objective or descriptive. And make your own notes. That means take a book always with you, carry a notes, and a book with always carry a notes. And that notes, it should contain any picture or image or any table format which are difficult to remember, so that if you write and practice every day, that will become very easy. And another important thing is seek guidance from your teacher or professors or mentors or seniors or friends, whoever maybe website, or give it will give some complete guidance. And another important thing is stay motivated, always be motivated, stay inspired, and to discuss and have good groups, join in good groups, so that you will be connected. And eliminate distractions. What is eliminate distractions? Because the digital distractions will be there, and then mental distractions will also be there. Something, sometimes you may read more, and then you feel that, oh, I may forget, or something like that. You will have that desperate feeling. So you eliminate all these distractions and have a clear goal, and then have visualization. Everyday practice thrice or number of times as convenient to you. So this visualization is a very, 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 very crucial step, which is for any competitive exam preparation. And last thing is sleep well. So don't stress too much, have a minimum stress. And then for that, you have to make your brain sharp, so that you can remember more, so that you have to sleep well. So these are the 10 tips what I have given, and see you in the next video. These are some of the suggested books. Thank you for your time. See you in the next video. Hope you can explore geosciences and subscribe.